Bulavinaka, Yandravinaka. It's Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. and I believe that we have gone through the programs and you people have been watching the Yahweh Brothers, who is a very effective group with their lyrics and everything, specifically composed songs. And we must thank the singers and the composers in making that happen because it's actually creating a hit for the believers and for the young people that they love the Lord. Like it gets them closer. Other than reading the Bible, they sing those lyrics and really, make sense and guide them in one form of the way or the other. So we would like to say Bulavinaka and thank you. We are back in Turaki, here in Fiji. And I believe that you're tuning in from all over the world, wherever you are, what time it is, and different day. And but still, for us in Fiji, it's Saturday, and there's a lot of things that happens on Saturday. And we have rugby. We have, in actual fact, we have the matches leading up to the Danes. We have teams that have actually traveled to the north, and we have those that are playing out here in the east. And I think last Saturday was a really very, very busy one. And I had the boys and the men in our family that actually went out to watch the rugby. So today it's happening out there in the Northern Division. Baka mo din doon na opportunity, vir talaga na wekanda tiko may boliko, mera sarava na kyan nangito ni koa, lako ni makalelewa na Subrail Park, rangito tiko kinera na Luvenda, and singa vinaka ni ko. Vambula tiko weekenda, vambula raramba weekenda na barong tiko may na nduin ni buno and the bakarong tiko mikina, especially so for those of you that are tuning in outside Fiji because he knows, how to group the islands and saying hello to all the different islands here in Fiji. And that's one gifting that I really admire him in having. So for those of you that are tuning in, thank you for following the program. We try as much to bring something that is very practical, current, faced by families. Family is family, regardless of how high you go in the society and how much you actually gain living on this world, but you cannot avoid a family. Family, you either come out of a family, you walk into a family, or you want to stand alone, you don't want to be part of any family, but family is always there. And family, I believe it's a common a language and setup for any race, any country, any place. And that is why this program is very unique in such a way that we can talk about relevant things or talk about things that people don't really feel comfortable talking about, at home. That has culture and tradition as obstacles to certain things that we can be open to talk about, like sex, like drugs. These are the things. So it's okay, like you don't hear that. In the house to be discussed. It can come to you in the forum of education. It can come to you when you go to church or you attend a conference. Then you get to hear, this and this awareness on what's happening out there. But it's not a common conversation in most homes to be spoken of, to be talked about, to create the awareness. So the awareness is always outside the home and not inside the home. And that is why this program, we look forward to it because it's a breath of fresh air that you can come and talk about anything and everything through this table, and we just take whatever is ours and what is relevant, practical to you, and those that doesn't matter, then you just brush it on the side. So we would like to say thank you for joining us and thank you for being part of this program. We speak of a lot of things from relationship as husband and wife to your relationship and responsibilities or parenting to your children, and those that live in nuclear family, just a neat small family on your own, and those that live with extended family that you cannot come out of it. You grow, you were born in it and you're still in it, and you actually create your family within it. And we have different scenarios and different pictures and different practical way of living. And sometimes we can be speaking on what is more practical and relevant to nuclear family for small families, so that you can make a decision, do your own thing because you live in your own, and you're not living under somebody else's roof or whatever that you do. You have to consult somebody else, and then you have with that kind of setup, with the extended family that has everybody, and that's when the hierarchy comes, who is older. And those are the families that we try and target. So a lot of things as we speak of, maybe those that are listening in, most of you have done a better job about it, or you have more knowledge into the things that we speak about. But we come in through this program not to say that it is the only program for family, but it's one of the programs that you can listen to and take your take. And also, if you think that works for you, and share the word. And I believe just by sharing the word, it's more contagious and practical to people that listen, because they know it happens to you. It has made those change, and then also it can happen in your life, other than just a document reading or not the conversation that we had this morning, which was very, very good. He actually attended a youth meeting last night. He went to deliver the word of God, but he had two speakers that had spoken to this group of youth, and we thank the organizers of going out of their way to bring such a program to our youth of today, because it's more, very current and very relevant. And as we were speaking of, of those issues this morning, we have, like say, we're talking about drugs. We have a lot of forums that are created to talk about the drug itself, to describe what it does, the effects of this drug. And we can talk about all these things to educate maybe the ones who haven't really tasted drugs, for them to be aware that it is there. But for those that are already in it, that doesn't make any sense. They're not even listening there,
Yeah, first of all, I take this time just to thank Turangani Obisa Sakyo, and also Dr. Esaroma Lendua from the University of the South Pacific, of the wonderful program. Thank you, the youth of Namukailau Zone, from Ndronimbota, the fisheries quarters, right up to Wainandoi. It was a wonderful program last night.
And the organizers.
And Taltalagase, and all the men that you came along in the Namukailau area, Bilo area, and Wainganake, from Wainganake. A lot of men that you turn up. And I believe that we were really loaded with information from the two speakers. One from the police department, one of the assistant commissioner of police, so high ranking, and lecturer, professor, Esaroma Lendua. I take this time just to thank you too for the wonderful information that you share. But both of you, one thing that really hit me, that both of them said we can talk about drugs. We can explain the effects and the different groups.
No one has found the solution.
Yeah, but no one, both of them said that the solution is in God. No? I mean, one of them come from Catholic, one of them come from Methodist Church. No? They both said that the solution is God, which is I believe I normally share that. That Jesus is the solution, especially when it comes to drugs, because there is no nation in the world ever tackle this problem, the drugs. And both of them, they said that the devil is using this substance to create that confusion in our mind. It's amazing how they they describe, because normally those kind of preaching is in the church. Those sharing, when you talk about the devil, is normally in the church. But this is one from the police department and one from a lecturer from the University of the South Pacific. And they both sharing. For Professor, after that we have a cup of tea, and he continued Talanoa, and he continued to share. Taltala, I hear you preaching about this, and that is the only solution. And it really challenges me, and I believe all the Taltala from all different denominations, we are challenged, that they are trying to find the solution for the drugs, which is one of the problem that the nation Fiji is facing right now. So all the leaders must come together. That the solution they are talking about, the Word of God, we need to teach the Word of God very practically to our young people, that just don't go there.
But I believe most of us, we know that it's there. We know the solution, is God, because He's the Creator who created us to be who we are. And the willpower that every individual has cannot stop them from doing what they're doing. And you need the Creator Himself who can give you the willpower, or a supreme power, more than your human power, to be able to have a say in your life, for you to make that right decision. Thank you, Chivedi. And so when you do that, I believe some people think that it's too easy to go that way. Like just to trust God to do that. One. And second, they don't want to go to church. They don't want to acknowledge God. Most people say, who is God? To come and fix me. So those are the questions that so it's easy for us who believe in God because we know, okay, you grew up in it. Like I grew up in a family that you have devotion.
God all the time.
Yeah, you hear God all the time. So when I hear that He's the fix, to me it's like, okay, I just stay here. I make a decision that I just stay here because I know Him. But for those people that are tuning in, they don't know God. They've never heard about God. And if you tell them, look, God is the solution. To them, it's like, God? Who is God? So, like we always say, that this program, we try as much not to make it too godly. And because we are Christians and the values, that comes with it. Automatically, you cannot be taking drugs inside the church. Like you cannot, if maybe most of us are doing it, but you're doing it knowing that you're not supposed to. So there's always a conviction in her, telling you, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
It's something that they both mentioned, and that people know that Jesus is the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah. But to bring that to practical every day, that's the problem. That's the problem.
That's a struggle. Yeah. Well, for those of you that are tuning in, regardless of the explanation that you might have to counter that it is not the solution, then you have lecturers and you have, in the police. People in authority, and they not only just talking about God, because of their position as pastors or their position as believers, but they have the knowledge, study the effects. They're talking about something that they are very familiar with. And I believe that, like you said, one of them was actually going to another place, to speak on the same thing late in the night, which for us, it shows that there are people that have known and they're looking for solution.
One thing that I've shared last night, for this solution not to be talked about only in church, because we have that religious thing. You just come, listen, okay. But when you go out again, you leave everything in church. This kind of discussion, because I was happy, he said, I'm running to one village in Telem. 9 o'clock, the appointment is 9 o'clock at night. And for Namukela youth, there was a third session.
So it's really good because smaller groups
they are inviting. And the way, because he has the knowledge, describing everything in detail and the effects, and showing some clips. One thing that is very interesting to the young people, because he threw up a lot of clips. Not only that, and some videos. Not only that, not only overseas. He took took pictures in McDonald. He took pictures in Suva, in Nandi. No? So it's something that we cannot hide it anymore. It's there. And the concern is once it's spread, our population is very low, and our young people will be affected.
And they're very vulnerable, and also gullible. Whatever comes, they are resucio. They just want to taste it. They want to, and then sometimes in that process they get addicted.
Yeah, that is another problem because some people will be very curious.
Yeah. How does it work?
How does it work?
What does it do?
Yeah. So that's why it's very important they show this the end result. End result. And also, what I like when they both said the solution is not here physically. Yeah. The solution is in the Word of God.
Yeah.
So
because that solution, we can say God, and then a lot of people will be tuning in today. They will say, like what I said, they don't believe in God. They've never heard about God, and why God has to be part of this solution. Why we mention that? Because we believe as Christians that God created us. We believe that. In the world, like scientifically, they believe in that evolution, that we, came that way. So if you have to talk to these atheists and people who don't believe in God, they'll go back to the sense that, no, we didn't come from God. He didn't create us. We came from these monkeys or apes or, there's a lot of explanation to it just for them to combat or counter the fact that the solution is very easy. It's there. and the knowledge to know that there is God and He exists.
And one thing that it's a plus that we know the solution, because the people that they are explaining, they are not taltala.
Yeah.
They hold position in the society, and they've done their research.
Yeah.
And there's no solution to what we are talking
Yes.
about. You can put them to hospital or to the cell, and you inject them with medicine just to keep them low, not taking away the problem, because it's something to do with your decision making. You are hearing voice, you are seeing things that are not normal. So it's a problem of your mind.
Yeah. The effects.
Yeah. So there is no solution at the moment to deal with a problem in your mind. So it's something that happens in your brain.
Yeah, and it goes back to the fact that a lot of people who have come and spoken to the forums or the church, they mentioned the same on the increase on mental
health.
Yeah, mental health. And mental health, we think or we thought that you reach a certain age and then that affects you. But to the last conference that we've had in Lotoka, when we hear speakers coming in, it's really, it's even affecting the children. There's mental health in primary school level, and those are contributing factors, because when you take that, it leads you to another thing.
One thing that I really like because there's a lot of parents who were standing by the road, and from the Assistant Commissioner of Police, he was explaining that he diverted a little bit. He said one of the problem of disobedient and rebellious children today, it comes from the video game, because they watch and they always want to win. When they want to win, there are a lot of games of kicking and punching and shooting. So all those things, it's something that they intake into their brain. So when their parents call, the way that he was explaining, when their parents call out, because they were into it, they want to finish, their enemy. Slowly, they are intaking the spirit of fighting, the spirit of killing in their mind. And to me, that's something that's
this is a lot of things involved. Like what you said or mentioned earlier, even though the fix is God, I believe there's a lot of things that we need to do and correct.
Yeah.
We need to correct the way that we parent our children, correct the way that we raise our children, correct. There's a lot of correction that needs to be done. But to even do this correction, it's a process in itself. And other than just the simplicity of trusting God to do it. Because when we trust God and we believe in God to be the solution, it doesn't mean that you just pray and ask God to come and fix you,
part to play,
and you don't have anything to do. No, it's a process. So it's a lot of things at stake, and I believe the forum that we've had, the forum that has been created by the government, by the other organizations, the church. They need to be more practical in the way that they approach it, not just to come together and talk about the effects. Yeah, those are fact finding, and those are statistics that we can make reference to when we teach. But we need to spend more time in talking about on how to correct it, how to take it back to the church level. I'll say so, like what he said. These are the two. They are not pastors. One is a professor from the university and one is a higher position in the police department. So they have access to this information. And if, say, for our family, if I come and say, okay, there goes Nana again. I'm speaking of the same thing. If I'm telling my grandchildren, okay, make sure you don't take drugs, because when you do, this is what happened to you. And to them, at the end of the day, that's Nana, because Nana talks about a lot of things, and Nana always scolds us for a lot of things. And, that the recipient, like they take it because of the speaker. But if they hear the same thing from school, and the same people are invited to the school to speak on the same thing, I believe when they come out, like that makes a different impact in their lives other than Nana saying it. They hear somebody else saying it with that position they look up to, and everybody have no choice but to listen. Yeah. And then it becomes a forum like create between them, their friends, because all of them have heard the same information.
And create the interest for them to, it's somebody else speaking.
And then they come into church, and then you hear, somebody else come and talk to them in that forum. So the more awareness that we can create that works, I believe, it's very important, and not only targeting our youth, not only targeting the people that are takers and users, but also there should be forums and workshops and training done for parents, for guardians, or because we need to learn and know how to fix these things, how we can help, because we need to know what to do for those that are already taking it and they're inside your house. You know, how to counter, how to look after it, other than...
It comes back to parenting, it comes back to family. Because according to the figures, facts and figures, it happens a lot from children that they come from broken homes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But if you have a home, it doesn't mean that you will not be affected by this. Because they go to school, they go to sports, they mingle in community. So it's something that is out there that everybody must aware. Yeah. So it backs to family, the parenting, the young couple, how to look after their home.
And the missing parents.
Yeah, the together.
Yeah.
People are going out to work long hours, and people going overseas. So those missing link, that's where this all the problem in a family start to come in.
Yeah.
And that's why family table talk is one of those forums that we can talk about
these things.
The importance of family, the importance of our time, the importance of timing together, doing things together, even shopping together,
as a family.
Going out to the park together, or even going watch sports, all watch it together. Yeah. Going to the market.
That's one thing that I have to learn, to go and watch my grandsons play.
Because when we do things together, all this outside influence will struggle to come in. Even sometimes, of tumandang television, dandan tabi tumanda vital noa sa ocha ke memakatundu takabay, lau tumanda na sere.
Yeah, like, and now the screen is there. Like for me, like to get things off my mind, I'm flipping through the channel, from news to whatever that I can watch. But before, I remember the days when we used to sit with our children with a guitar, and we talk about anything and everything, and then you cry, and then you laugh together. And sometimes we even talk until 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes we're still awake and the children are getting ready to go to school again. Those moments. The moments of just talking about anything and just having those open forums, those moments. And not only we have it with our children, we used to have our own until 3 o'clock in the morning. There was a lot of things to talk about, and and this phone has actually interfered. It's either you carrying your office with you, regardless of the furthest country you travel in the world, your office travels with you, because it's either your phone or iPad or your laptop, because you're taking it with you, and that access never used to be there before.
It's just a way that we first of all we see the problem, and we start to correct a little bit, and we can't just drop it because we are used to this lifestyle. From this staying together, talking and laughing as a couple or as a family, and now the phones start to come in. Before only dad and mom have a phone, but now all the children are having their phone, so they can be sitting in a living room for 2-3 hours, nobody talking, because they are talking to their phone. Either their work, their games, or the news. Even for me, sometimes I'll just be sitting there reading my Bible, doing